In step 2, teachers do the math that students will do by taking the assessment. Teachers should consider what students need to know and be able to do to master the topic standards. Teachers consider misconceptions that students might have and consider how they might bring clarity for students around that content. One of the effective teaching practices identified by the National Council for Teachers of Mathematics in the book Principles to Actions is checking for misconceptions amid the lesson and addressing the misconceptions immediately. Completing assessment tasks and discussing possible misconceptions in advance allows teachers to address them confidently when they arise. If you haven't yet already pulled the assessment, you can find it in 2 places on Math Rocks. If you click the yellow Topic 3 button, you will find it in the folder, or you can extend the Quarter 1 checkpoint materials and click on the Topic 3 rectangle. Another thing to remember, you want to be gathering evidence on OA9, fluency. Best practice would be to have at least 3 pieces of evidence by the end of Quarter 2. You can have more than that, especially if you want to see if a student mastered the whole standard. You would want to see mastery several times. There are suggestions on tasks and activities to use for checking for understanding on slide 5 of your curriculum guide. When you pause the video in a minute, you will want to take the assessment as a student. Jot down some noticings and wonderings that you think about as you solve the tasks. Also, read the rubrics to understand what is expected for mastery of the task. Pause the video here to take the assessment, and then return to the video, and we will talk about last year's data. Now that you've had a chance to take the assessment for Topic 3, let's dive into some data from last year. The standards that were assessed were OA3 and OA9. Notice the overall student total and subgroup. SchoolNet did not allow for us to see proficiency of standards, but this year, Mastery Connect will allow us to analyze data in different ways. Pause the video to interpret this data. Now that you have some time to look at the overall big picture standpoint, let's look closer at the tasks that were offered. The percentage you see here is the average score on each item. Tasks 1 and 2 are the same for this year. Task 3 and 4 both assessed fluency. Task 3 only had 1 equation, and Task 4 had several, 5 to be exact. We made some adjustments for this year with the help of some teachers and facilitators, and we adjusted it to make it OA9 one task with multiple parts. NC1 OA9 asked students to explain strategies and thinking, and some feedback we received was that teachers noticed this was a struggle. Remember to encourage students to practice this more in class. You have multiple suggestions in the curriculum guide that can be used for some daily fluency tasks in your curriculum guide. Encourage students to explain their thinking.